Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is a 6'2" guard that just got done lighting it up from long range with the Radford Highlanders, helping them to another 20-win season this past year, and is going to be joining his head coach from Radford at his new spot in LaSalle in the A10, where they're looking to run that conference as well. I'm talking about the one and only, the Truth Harris.
How you doing? What's going on?
Hey man, excited to have you on. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to hop on the podcast, do an interview with me. My buddy Jay Arch recommended you and your teammate Josiah. I had Josiah on. He did a great job. Obviously, you're looking to have a great interview here, just like you always have a great time on the court, it seems like, because wherever you've gone, you found ways to win, found ways to put up numbers. And I want fans, viewers that aren't familiar with your name yet to get familiar with your journey, where you've been throughout your college career in a quick segment that I like to call rewind and recap, where I'm just going to rewind the clock back to the start of your college career where you started off at ETSU playing Division One basketball before heading off to the junior college ranks, playing for two very dominant teams in Pensacola State and Indian Hills, and then made your way back to the Division One ranks with Radford. Like I mentioned, another 20-win season for the program this past year for the Highlanders. And now you're heading off to the A10, very tough conference, playing for a LaSalle team that is under new leadership, has a lot of new faces, and you guys are looking to run the A10 from the jump. And you've always found ways to improve, and I know you're going to be improving going into this final season with LaSalle. And I know year one to year two with Radford, you ended up taking a jump. You ended up improving your 3-point percentage, your points per game. You ended up being a critical piece and a leader for that team. Talk to me real quick about this past year and year two with the Highlanders compared to year one and how you were able to take on this more efficient and prominent role with the team.
So my first year at Radford, it was literally like my first actual year playing Division One basketball. So everything was like kind of foreign to me. Everything was new, like the pace, the tempo, everything. Just because my first year at ETSU, like you mentioned, I didn't really. Well, you didn't mention I really played, which I appreciate. But my first year at ETSU, I didn't play as much. And that wasn't nothing from me. It was just something that had to happen. Just because I had to develop more as a guard, trying to find my way as a guard. Also, I was playing under like a good point guard, like a good point guard named David Sloan, which is overseas now. So I had to really like learn the point guard position and really understand what it meant to handling the ball, taking control of your team, leading the team and stuff. So at ETSU, I didn't really really play much. So me going to JUCO the next 2 years, it helped me a lot. Just getting a different getting a different tougher skin. You know what I'm saying? Just being able to be tougher, more grittier, get more protection over the ball, learning how to control a team, in 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 bad circumstances. Well, I want to say bad circumstances, but like in adversity situations, just learning how to lead and just getting through those certain situations helped me little by little. And then going to rap for my first year, I wouldn't say it was a bad year because I thought it was actually a great year. Definitely for me because I learned a lot about myself, a lot of things I needed to work on, things that I was good at. So then going into the next year, my senior year at Radford, I feel like it was a complete 360 turn from like my first year because I felt like I was more comfortable with the situation. I was comfortable with the coaches. I knew what the coaches needed, what they expected from me, and the leading part was just it just came a little natural just because I just like being a voice speaking up. And yeah, so and then just me from me speaking up, being a voice, it just led for me having a greater role with the team and leading the team and stuff. So I would say my first year at Radford was a little bumpy just because I was trying to figure out certain things, trying to get to know myself, trying to get to know my teammates, trying to get to know the coaches, trying to know like what I needed to do and stuff. Um, and also just because it was my like first year actually playing at a Division One, being getting those meaningful minutes, being being sorry, what's the word? Being a piece like a valuable piece to the team was new to me. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
yeah, those that's like really the differences. That's how I went from my first year at Radford, not really playing as much, to the next year at Radford where I had a different role. I had to learn how to impact that role the best way I can, and that's what I did.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned, the junior college ranks, how you had to get tougher skin, how to learn the game at a different kind of level. Jay Arch and Josiah, your two teammates, I know both of them have come from junior college ranks. I wish more players would consider the JUCO ranks because that helps you improve so much to get to where you are now, obviously living your dream, doing what you do best. And this past season, I mentioned you made a lot of improvements from year one to year two. Year two, you put up nearly 9 points per game, 2.5 rebounds while shooting almost 44% from beyond the arc. Had some great outings throughout the season, 18 points and 6 boards against Upstate. Went against a very good St. Francis team, put up 16 points, 3 assists, and 3 rebounds, and then had 15 points in that Big South semifinals game against a very talented High Point team that you guys, honestly, I felt like you guys gave High Point the biggest run for their money out of any team in the Big South. So you were able to improve your game in so many aspects, but you're the guy that's on the court doing what you do. I want to ask you, where do you feel like you made the biggest jump, whether it was skill wise, intangibles, on, off the court? Where do you feel like you made the biggest improvement?
I would say where I made the biggest improvement was probably mental. Just knowing the game, knowing when to take a shot, knowing when simple is enough, and knowing when not simple, when like not being simple is doing too much. And I would just say just learning. I think my first couple years in college, I thought I knew everything. Um, then I had to really sit back and just really like learn, watch, and just really appreciate everything else around me, just to understand how to handle things on the court, if that makes sense. So I would definitely say like mentally was like really one of my biggest turning points because mentally all around, like it helped me play better, and it helped just my team also. Just me mental,
Absolutely.
just me
Mental part
being
of the game.
better mentally. Yeah.
The mental part of the game people take for granted sometimes. It's a big part. And obviously, you were able to improve that. I also mentioned before, you improved that 3 point percentage. You improved your 3 point shot a lot, which you were able to knock down threes pretty efficiently in your first year. But this second year, man, I mean, shooting 44% from three is no joke.
Yeah.
And that allowed not just yourself to be able to score more, it allowed your teammates to become more open for an offense where it was very distributed throughout. You guys only had two players, I believe, that averaged double figures. You had quite a few yourself, Josiah. I know you both averaged 8, 9 points per game. I believe you had another one or two that averaged 8, 9 points as well. So very distributed. How would you say your effectiveness to be that threat from on the arc where guys know, your opponents know, okay, I do need to come up and actually guard him, even from Steph Curry range? How would you say that allowed your offense to really be able to thrive more in games?
So coming into college, my what I was really good at was my athleticism. I usually I would like to say that I'm a above the rim type of player. Like I like to finish above the rim. I like to dunk and stuff. So like when you're known to be a player like that, you get played on defense a certain way. So after getting my 3 point shooting up and being more confident 3 point shooting, it gives the defender like a different look. So the defender can't only guard you a certain way; he has to guard you. He has to be aware that you can actually shoot and also that you can actually drive. If I don't shoot, I could drive. I can make a play for somebody else. I can get a layup. I can get a kick out. I think that's helped. That I think that's what one of the biggest things that helped me help my teammates. Just from people just guarding me up close, a little bit closer, I can get bottom. I can make a play for somebody else. I can lay it up. It's just I could give the defense a different looks every time. So I think
Mhm.
that's one of the biggest things.
Absolutely. And you were able to knock down some big time shots throughout the season. Whenever your team needed a bucket, you were able to always seem to answer the call. And that leads me perfectly into this segment that I like to call Make That Play, where I'm going to show off a few of your highlights. I'm going to show off some of the best plays that you had from this past season, what, in my opinion, were your top three plays from this year at Radford. But obviously, I'm just a fan in the stands. I'm just a stats guy. You're the one actually on the court doing what you do best. So, what would you say was your best play from this past season?
My best play, I would say, probably was in the conference semifinals against High Point when I had I think it was like a fast break layup. TJ, our big man TJ, had got a deflection, got the steal, and he passed it to me on a fast break, and it was like a 2-on-1 situation, and I like jumped and split it and did a scoop layup, and I think that's one of my best plays of of college right now. That and yeah, probably that and we played Bucknell at home. Um, We played Bucknell at home. The game going down to the last couple seconds, last couple minutes of the game, and I hit a big three to to elongate the lead in overtime. So I think that's another big shot, another big play that I made. That was it.
There you go, showing off that playmaking ability as well. And it's funny that you mentioned the Bucknell one because I do have that shot at number one on my list because it was the game clincher versus Bucknell in overtime where you caught the ball on the wing and cashed it in from three to take a 72-67 lead over Bucknell, which you guys ended up winning that game eventually 74-70. Crunch time like that, you need a bucket. You need someone to make a shot. You were able to do that in the best way possible.
And
So
that if you look at the stats, I had like one of the worst games I've ever played. Like I was like, I think before I made that shot, I only made one shot in the first half, and I was one for like I want to say like one for like 18 that game, one for 16 that game, and that was the second shot I made, which makes the play to me just more even more special because it shows that I've grown up a little bit more too because I think any other year like prior to that I think I would be out the game completely just missing that many shots missing that many layups like I wouldn't figure out but in this game I overcame it and just was ready to knock down the big shot.
there you go. Shows that maturity. And number two, you hit another big time shot in the Big South tournament against High Point. I know you mentioned the layup that you had. This one, I just thought it was great with the patience and the timing and able to create space with the defender where you end up crossing him over. Shot clock is winding down. 1 second left on the shot clock. You pull up from three and you were able to make it nothing but net while creating space from your defender. While he was on skates, it looked like he was going all over the place. And then number three, the final one that I have going against Presbyterian, you had a big 4 point play on the road in enemy territory. You ended up coming up and you saw that the defender was real close, showed off your IQ. You knew that he was going to end up fouling you. So you took the shot, you made it three from long range, and he ended up fouling you. You went to the line for a 4 point play. So those are my top three plays from this past season. And like I mentioned before, you guys only had two guys that averaged 10 or more points throughout the season, the highest being 13.5 from Jarvis Moss. But what you guys really hung your hat on, was the rebounding, the defense that you guys had. You obviously had some great 3 point percentages. Your team overall on the season, you guys were, I believe, second in the Big South in 3 point percentage and points allowed per game, while also being fifth in the conference in rebounds and block shots in the Big South Conference. Talk to me real quick about this defense, the rebounding, the key intangible stuff that really went into the overall success that you guys had this past season.
Um, so Coach Nice, Coach Darius Nichols at LaSalle, when we was at Radford, like one of the biggest things that we wanted to tip our like wanted to show other teams is that we were the toughest team. Like every time you guys played us, like it was going to be a war. Like it was going to be a hard fought war. You guys had to win, really win the game for us to win, for us to lose. But so that was like one of the things that's been instilled in us to just be able to be physical, be able to rebound the ball, and then on top of that, we have Justin Archer. We have Josiah Harris. Like these are all rebounders that are like top in the country. So like when you have rebounders like that, it's kind of easy for little guards because people are like scared to get in contact with them. So like the guards to slip in, get a couple of rebounds, stuff like that. So all of that goes into it with each other, just having that mentality, having dudes that are dogs that can actually go up and get a board and not scared to be physical. And then it makes everything a little bit more simpler for like the guards and from me a standpoint just that if that answers your question.
Absolutely, yeah. And you guys ended up going off for, like I said before, another 20-win season, 20-13 overall record, 9-7 in Big South action. Made it to the semifinals of the Big South tournament, going against the eventual champions in High Point, who very talented team there. And like I said before, you guys, out of anybody, in my opinion, gave them the biggest run for their money out of any team in that conference. Also ended up beating that Presbyterian team I mentioned during your highlights, 74-69 in overtime in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And then going against Winthrop, who I believe they placed second in the standings in regular season, you guys went up against them in regular season action and blew them out of the water 87-67. And then on top of that, you guys also had that overtime win against Bucknell 74-70. So able to come up in the clutch moments, able to find ways to win. And you guys had a really great start to the season, 9-2 to start the season. And those two losses were, I believe, the Pittsburgh and Clemson. So two Power Five teams from the ACC, where you guys still hung in close as you could with them, and ended up going to Daytona Beach, Florida, in the Sunshine Slam tournament and took home the championship of that tournament. So a lot of success early on throughout the season to help carry you guys to what ended up being a 20-win season once again. Talk me real quick about that early on success that you guys had and how that led to so much more winning and, high level mentality from you guys.
It's good to get those. It's good to get wins like that, like non-conference wins, because I feel like it helps the team. I feel like it brings the team closer, and it also brings in momentum going into conference. So getting those wins, getting those wins, especially after that Cancun, no, not Cancun, especially after
Daytona Beach.
the tournament in Daytona Beach. Like I felt like when we came back, because I think we had break after that or whatever. But when we came back, we were like ready to go. Like we were ready for conference. We was ready to go. We was like, and of course, it's good to have those non-conference wins. But after we came back, we was like, yeah, we know what we can do. We know we're good, but it's time to bring it up to another level when we hit conference. It's a better focus. You have to have a better focus. You got to do things better. But it is definitely good getting those wins non-conference just because it builds camaraderie. It brings everybody closer together and just it brings a good momentum coming into the conference season.
Absolutely. And obviously had another great year. And at the end of the year, your head coach, Darius Nichols, ended up taking the job at LaSalle. Yourself, Josiah, Justin Archer, who this past year he was at Georgia State. All three of you are now transferring over to LaSalle to reunite with him and continue the winning success that you've had in his system under his culture that he puts into his programs. What other reasons went into your decision to transfer over to LaSalle? Obviously, the head coach being the biggest part of it, but what were some of the other aspects that really went into your decision to move over to LaSalle?
So this is probably the first time I've ever been this close to home because I'm originally from New York. Mount Vernon, New York. So I think that was like a big key reason just because it's my last year. And I want my family to see it. Like I want my family to enjoy my last year with me also. So that's one of the biggest reasons. But of course, the coach, Coach Nice, I trust him. I've been with him. This is my third year being with him, so I feel like um, the trust I have in him is very is very like a it's like one of the key reasons why I took it here. Also, um, I feel like I want to bring back like the flair of LaSalle. From what I've been learning like a little bit more since I've been out here, and I've learned that LaSalle like they don't get as much credit as they should. They used to be a great team back a couple years ago. They was a good team. They made it to tournament a couple times. So I just want to get that back, get that energy back into LaSalle because it's a nice city. And don't get enough credit. You know what I'm saying? Like so, I feel like me, Joe, Justin, Coach Nice, everybody that's coming this year, we're gonna be able to bring that flair back to LaSalle for sure. So definitely one of the reasons was definitely because of Coach Nice, also because I'm closer to home, and then the last probably reason is because of Justin and Josiah. It was like my two of my best friends. I went to high school with Justin. We played in high school together, so it's like it was something that I wanted to happen.
There you go. Yeah. And I know Jay Arch and Josiah both said the same thing as far as being closer to home, just like you're saying. So it's kind of it's kind of destiny, it seems like.
That's good
Everything
one.
just adds up and it's just awesome for you guys that you're able to have your families there closer to you. So obviously I'm going to be a big LaSalle fan this upcoming season, obviously with you three being a part of the Slim Sports family. And I know, yourself, Josiah, Jay Arch, you're all very familiar with the system, like I mentioned, that Coach Nice has put in place back when he was at Radford and that he's going to be implementing at LaSalle. And you guys are also very familiar with each other, how you guys like to play on the court and how you guys seem to operate. Obviously, those two are incredibly talented defenders and rebounders. You yourself, very talented offensive player as well, able to contribute on both ends as well. How would you say that continuity, that familiarity with one another and the system that Coach Nice has in place is going to help lead you guys to be one of the best teams in the A10 right off the bat?
I think it helped a lot actually because three of us is more than two, more than one. So three of us, we can really help like the team. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you know, a lot of it might be foreign to a couple. Like most of the new players are coming because they don't know Coach Knight's style or how like he plays or how he is. So what us three being able to be a part of this team, it helps us. We can help the team. We can help the team before certain things happen. You know what I'm saying? So like we can get ahead of certain things faster than if it was everybody was brand new. You know what I'm saying? So I think us three being together and being able to help because we all three of us are like we have voices and we can all talk and we all have like good personalities to help other people and stuff. So I feel like us three being together is very good for the team also because it just helps. It will help everybody get 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 comfortable with the flow of how everything goes and everything.
Hmm. Absolutely, man. And I'm definitely excited to see what you guys end up doing this upcoming season. I mentioned before, Jay Arch recommended yourself and Josiah to have on this podcast to be able to tell your stories, get your names out there. And I'm really glad he did. And he did it in this segment that we're about to get into that I like to call Who's Up Next, where you have the opportunity to recommend some players for me to get on, reach out to, have them on the podcast so they can do what you're doing now and tell their story, talk about their careers and get your names out there a little bit more. And I can do my part in helping your names get out there. So there are two rules, though. First of which, whoever you recommend, got to help me reach out, got to help me get them on. And number two, I do need at least one name that was not a teammate of yours at Radford this past season. So maybe a new teammate at LaSalle, somebody that you know at another school, something like that.
I want to recommend Eric Acker. Um, he's my newest teammate here. And he was at LIU previously, 2 years ago. Then he came to LaSalle last year. And Jerome Brewer, who was also he was at McNeese last year, and he's also new here at LaSalle. So those two dudes you definitely should get in contact with and talk to.
I remember hearing Jerome Brewer's name with McNeese. I had a couple friends over at McNeese and I watched their games. I know he's going to do great for you guys. I'm sure the guy from LIU, he's going to do good also because if I know, Coach Nice's system, which obviously I don't know firsthand, but I know from watching you guys and Justin over the past couple of years, you guys are going to have a whole lot of success, man. And so those are some great names for who's up next. And now we've got to talk about what's next. Obviously, we mentioned how this is going to be your first and probably only season at LaSalle. This might be your last year of college eligibility, if I
I
believe.
mean, how everything is going now, I might get an extra 2 years out of nowhere.
You never know,
You
honestly.
never
It's
know.
crazy right now. But you're looking to really improve your game this offseason to go off and help lead LaSalle to an A10 championship right off the bat. How are you really attacking this offseason to be the best version of yourself on and off the court going into next year?
Um, so what I've been doing is just what I've been telling myself every morning when I wake up, before I even go to practice, before I go to work, I was just be you and just be yourself and just be the best leader you can for everybody else. Try to help everybody else the best way you can and help will come back to you. So I would say like the best way I'm trying to do is just me doing me every day, working out, getting my work in, but also helping other teammates, bringing teammates to work out or bringing teammates to film. Uh, or just I feel like right now is just the biggest thing to do right now because it's summer is just everybody being together, getting connected the best way we can. So I think that's one of the best things, or one of the things that I've been trying to focus on the most is just make sure everybody's on the same page, everybody's connected, and make sure just get to know everybody else, everybody that's new. That's been my like biggest goal right now is just to make sure we all like playing with each other. You know what I'm saying? As crazy as it sounds, but it's the truth. It's the truth of the matter sometimes. So just make sure everybody's connected. Just make sure we're all good. We're all good. We're all brothers. We're all building that brother bond, the brotherly bond, the brotherly love bond. Shout out to Philly.
There you go, man. Definitely can't wait to see what you guys do this upcoming season. Going to be tuned into the games, watching you guys, supporting you guys. And no doubt in my mind, you guys are going to be one of, if not the best team in the A10 with that continuity that you guys already have in place. So excited to have been able to get you on. J Arch definitely made some great recommendations, and yourself and Josiah, you both made for some great interviews, some fun interviews. And you're always welcome on the podcast, man. Excited to be able to tell your story, get your name out there a little bit more. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to hop on for an interview.
I appreciate you.